Hi there guys, this is just a quick video really just to show you how to go on with the update for the Peugeot NG4 and the RCZ. We've got a software update 4201, so we're going to stick that one on this unit here. So before I start, what I've done is I've got hold of the download from GPS on the ground, burnt that to a DVD. So what I've done is I've burnt it down at 4 speed. So nice and slow. It's only 351 meg, so it will fit on a CDR. But I've already tried that once and it didn't go too well. So I've burnt it to a DVD, so hopefully this time it'll go through okay. Just as a quick word of warning, really, just to make sure, just to give things the best possible opportunity of going through properly. What I have done is I've made sure that any sort of like CDs and DVDs that were in there are out. And I've also made sure that any sort of like USB sticks that you've got plugged in, sort of like in the armrest or SD slot, anything like that, I've taken those out. One quick thing which might be of use to you: if the update does stop or it fails for any reason, what you can do is, as a quickie, is if you look in the glove box. I've already had mine off, as I say, because I've tried it on the CDR. It didn't go too well. But the fuse box there. You just pop the front off, and if you have a look behind the door, there's like a little clip there, a little door, which has a fuse holder in it, so that's quite useful. And the one you want, if you do need to reboot it for any reason, is, you see next to that white plug, you've got the little yellow fuse, little yellow 20 amp fuse. Now that fuse there is F8, so if you pull that, what that will do is that will power off the system, the screen will go down, and then you pop your fuse back in, start the ignition, and it should come back up, but it will tell you the reason why the software update's failed. Right then, so as I say, what I've done is everything's out, power's off, keys are in ignition, but of course that's not on. DVD's there, fuse is back in from my earlier attempt. So what I'll do is we'll start the car, make sure the engine's running. Screen should come up.
For a time across West Yorkshire, eventually dying out, and then it's frosty with widespread ice on untreated surfaces. Down to
lovely weather. So what we'll do is pop the DVD in. Then what we should get in a second or two is, there we go. So you get a message on the screen there, just telling you not to interrupt the software update. Tell you software update requires the engine to be running. So as I say, that's why we've started it here. So yes, it's already highlighted. So all you need to do is pop down to the NG4, hit OK, and then what you'll get is the device will reboot. Okie dokie. And as we'll see now, it should start to flick round. Now, it stopped on 8% for me last time, so we'll see if it gets past that. Well, that's a better start. It stopped on 8% on the CDR I had last time, so who knows, maybe it prefers being burnt to a DVD. Yeah, so I went through and burnt it at 4 speed on a good quality verbatim DVD-R. Try and stay clear of the rewritable ones if you can, because the dies on the bottom of those don't agree with some things. So as I say, it is a bit of a waste really for a 350 meg download, but they're cheap enough these days, aren't they? So it doesn't really matter. Just wait for that one to go through. I will leave this running. As I say, if you do want to skip it along a bit, then feel free. But really, I thought it'd probably just be a best idea just to leave it to run through, so you can see if it does pause at any point. You'll be able to see, you know, at what point it pauses and roughly for how long. Then it gives you an idea as to whether your own updates you're still in the process of going through, or whether it's crashing. You might just need to give it a reboot. Hopefully, though, everything will go through okay for you guys. I'm sure it will. I'll just turn the old seat heaters down. It's burning my backside. You will have to excuse the state of it. It does want a bit of a polish in here. It's on my list of things to do this week. Got the rest of the week off work, so no excuses. So it looks like we're on stage 2 of 3 at the moment on file efs_sss.efs. So we're 33% of the way through the update on that, 43% of the way through the entire update, as you can see at the bottom there. Just as a bit of an observation as well, at some point you might notice the SOS light flashing on the top corner of the head unit itself. So I presume there's some sort of update going down to that as well. I mean, I do also have a SIM card in the SIM tray in the armrest. I haven't taken that out; that's still in there. So hopefully that won't pose too many problems to it. 46% of the way through. Apparently this process takes about 10-15 minutes, I think, to go through. From reading around on various posts on GPS Underground and the experiences of others on various RCZ forums. We've been going about 6-7 minutes now, I think, just short. Hopefully not to give it the kiss of death, but it all seems to be going remarkably well up to now. Have to excuse me, I'm just going to swap arms on the old camera phone. Excuse me. So 48% of the the way through the total update now, 49. Nearly at the halfway stage, and up to now everything hopefully seems to be going through pretty well. It's not stopped yet anyway, which is a good sign. As I say, the first time around with the CDR copy I have of it, it stopped on the very first percentage point, 8% of the way through the SSS.bin file, I think it was. I left it there for a good 10 minutes and it didn't seem to be doing anything. The unit itself was pretty unresponsive. It didn't want to eject the disc. The screen remained on even after killing the ignition, taking the key out and locking the doors and everything. So wandered back in the house, got the old handbook out, found the fuse, pulled it. As I say, the power went, the screen goes down. Put the fuse back in after a couple of seconds, fired it all back up, and it came back up all okay. No damage done. It just gives you a bit of information as to why the update failed. In my case, it was 0x3000, and then it gives you a code after that. Medium had some issues, so as I say, it was either an issue with the burn or with the disc itself. As I say, if you do use a good quality disc, I mean, I'm using verbatims, burn pretty well. So those are probably about the best quality discs you're going to find. So I don't think it'll be the medium itself that was at fault there, really. Probably more like the burn. I mean, modern CDRs do prefer to be burnt quicker these days. I mean, as a general rule of thumb, I don't really mess with the burn speeds. But I did think, because of the procedure in hand, really, just to knock it down a bit, but maybe that wasn't the best idea in the end. I thought, oh well, let's try it on a DVD-R. Probably prefers to read those anyway, to be honest. A bit better quality than the old CDRs. Again, it's just a standard verbatim DVD-R. DVD-R is the format that I'm using here. As I say, try and stay clear from the rewritables, because the dies underneath the disc are a little bit less stable than the actual DVD-Rs themselves, and I don't know whether the old NG4 can read +R. I've never tried that, so this is just using a standard DVD-R. As I say, verbatim. Make sure you use a good quality one. This one was burnt at 4 speed. Again, just to knock the speed down, just to try and reduce any write errors on the disc, and to ensure the burn quality is as good as it can be. So we're 55% of the way through the total update now. And we're gradually getting there. I've got to say, I've had my charcoal black RCZ since 20th of December 2012, and I've loved absolutely every minute of it so far. This one here's a 2-litre diesel GT with the JBL Hi-Fi pack in it. Got the grey, well, the black leather. And I've got to say, up to now, I mean, the old NG4 when I bought it was getting a bit of a bad press, and it does have its idiosyncrasies really, with the trying to set the your home location and things like that, which is certainly a lot harder than what it probably should be. But in general, I found it pretty easy to use. But then again, I'm a bit of a techie anyway, so working in IT, I suppose I have to be. But yeah, I haven't found it too bad really. One or two little bugbears, which hopefully this will go some way to curing. But I think next job is to try and install some points of interest on this unit and see where we go from there. Some speed camera alerts and stuff like that probably wouldn't go amiss. 61% of the way through things now. Realised actually just that the air conditioning blowing out towards the camera. I hope it's not been making too much noise for you. So as you can see, it does take a little while to go through on some of these larger files, which is why I say it's always a good idea to certainly leave it a good 5-10 minutes if you do suspect it's stalled at some point. Because it's certainly not a quick process by any stretch of the imagination. According to the time on the camera there, it's been going about, well, probably about 17 minutes now. So 67% of the way through the entire process. And there you go. I mean, that last file there was probably the point to prove it, really. You saw the first 50% go through more or less straight away, and it sits, and you think, oh, I hope it's not stopped there, but then it just flicks its way through to the next bit. So, as I say, it is it's definitely one of these just to leave it 5-10 minutes if you do suspect it has stopped, because the last thing you really want to do is kill it if not. And as I say, that's partly the reason here that I'm sat here recording this entire process, really, because I know it's not the most fascinating viewing that you've ever had, and you're probably sick of listening to me by now, but as I say, it's useful to you if you can just sort of like sit and see where it stops and where it pauses and for how long, so that you do have an idea and you don't get too itchy about your own updates having stalled and killing it at a certain point and finding that heaven forbid, but it ruins your unit or anything like that. So we're on stage 3 of 3 now apparently, and I've noticed some of these file names are reappearing from earlier on, so maybe it's unpacking them and installing them now, it's copying them down, or I'm not entirely sure. Maybe somebody else can fill us in on that one, but we're at 80% now, so hopefully we've not got too much longer to go. As I say, the one thing that I won't be able to do, unfortunately, is confirm as to whether it's going to wipe all your personal settings and your memory and stuff like that, because as I say, I did have to kill this update once, which has reset the unit completely by the looks of things. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to tell you whether it's removed anything like that at all. As I say, I'm going to have a bit of a play with this unit with regards to, you know, getting some updated points of interest and some maybe some map updates and things like that in there. As I say, this is a May 2012 model, but I have noticed the 2012-2013 map updates are out for these now, so we'll probably have a bit of a play with those as well, see if we can get some of those installed. So again, if I do get anywhere with those, I'll try and get some videos of those up as well, so you know, so we can see how they go through, and hopefully these will prove useful to somebody. As I say, if they prove useful just to one person, then they've been worth it. So as you can see now, the biggest part of the update's gone through, so we're on reset system now, so it's gone on to a different process entirely, and it's all just gone out. Now the power click, the speakers have come back in, and there we go, software update has been finished successfully. As I say, it does look like it's reset everything, because the time's all gone back to 1 minute past midnight and the date's reset. So it looks like it may very well wipe everything, which is a little bit unfortunate. But hey, as I say, we'll see if we can eject the disc now, make sure that all comes out. There it is. So I'm going to go through now and pop some settings and stuff back in, and hopefully we will we'll have a nice new updated shiny NG4 software update, which hopefully will fix a few of the silly mistakes that Peugeot made first time on. So thanks for watching, and as I say, if this has been useful to anybody, then it's been worth it. Cheers guys, see you in a bit.